Before we get into the deck, I want to show you something. This is the full picture of what Paperclip AI actually is, and I want you to stare at it for a second before I break it down. On the left, 38,000 GitHub stars in 4 weeks. That number tells you this isn't hype. That's a mass adoption signal. People aren't just clicking around, they're building with it. At the center of everything is a CEO agent. That CEO sits under you, the human who acts as the board of directors. Below the CEO, you have specialized agents, a CTO, a CMO, each handling distinct task queues so errors don't compound across the whole operation. Underneath all of that is the heartbeat system. Agents wake up, check missions, log status, and go back to sleep. It eliminates runaway loops and saves tokens. On the right, you have the controls, skills, routines, and a budget cap. Skills give agents new capabilities like web browsing and SEO research. Routines automate the schedule. And the budget cap auto pauses at 100% so you never get a surprise API bill. And at the bottom, the autonomous SEO machine. Research, writing, and editing agents working 24/7 to create high intent content at scale. This isn't a chatbot. This is infrastructure, and that's exactly what this video is about. Let's get into it. 38,000 GitHub stars in 4 weeks. That doesn't happen because a tool is interesting. That happens because a tool changes the mental model of how people work with AI. The tool is called Paperclip, and the premise is simple. Stop prompting AI. Start running a company. This is the blueprint for building an autonomous, multi-agent infrastructure that works while you sleep, not a chatbot. Not a productivity hack, a company of AI agents with an org chart, goals, budgets, and a chain of command. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why 38,000 people showed up for this in the first 4 weeks, and more importantly, what it means for you. Here's the paradigm shift at the core of everything Paperclip represents. On the left, the chat paradigm. Your role is to do the work. There's one AI. It knows everything about nothing. Its memory gets wiped every single session, and it just sits there waiting for your next prompt. That's not a business, that's a conversation. On the right, the infrastructure paradigm. Your role is to govern the work. You have specialized, isolated subagents, each one focused, each one accountable. Memory is persistent, stored in files between sessions, and the system is proactive. It runs on scheduled routines without you lifting a finger. Here's the line I want you to take with you from this slide. Most people are using AI completely wrong. They treat it like a chat session. The top 1% are treating it like an org chart. Which side of that line are you on right now? Before we go deeper, if you're watching this and thinking, I want to actually implement AI automation like this in my business, then AI force multipliers is exactly where you need to be. Here's what makes this different. I'm not a guru who watched some YouTube videos and built a course. I have a published research background in clinical neuroscience. I've consulted for enterprise clients whose customers include 80 of the Fortune 100, and I've done SEO strategy for an ex-Google engineer. That analytical depth is what you get inside, not theory, not fluff, the actual workflows and systems that move the needle. We cover AI automation, Claude skill systems, GEO and AI search optimization, my custom Power Page process, which grew one client 258%, the full stack. Members are saving 10 to 20 hours a week and showing up in AI search where their competitors are invisible. One member even made over $1,000 from one recommendation. Link is in the description and pinned in the comments. Go check it out. Let me show you why your current AI setup fails over the weekend. This is what I call the illusion of automation. You've got tabs open, you've got scripts running, you feel like things are happening, but there are 3 silent killers in every setup like this. The first is no memory. Every time you open a new chat, the AI starts from 0. It doesn't know what it did yesterday. It doesn't know what goal it's working toward. It just starts over. The second is no coordination. When you have multiple scripts or agents running without a shared system, they overwrite each other, they duplicate work, they produce contradictions. Nobody is talking to anybody. The third is compounding errors. When a single AI tries to do everything start to finish, every mistake at step 1 becomes a bigger mistake at step 2 and a disaster at step 3. Errors don't add, they multiply. This is the problem Paperclip was built to solve. So what is Paperclip? It's an open source orchestration platform launched in March 2026 that lets you spin up, organize, and govern multiple specialized AI agents. Here's the analogy that locks it in. If an AI agent is an employee, Paperclip is the company. It provides the org chart, the budgets, the goals, the hierarchy, and the rules. You set the direction. The AI handles the work. Look at this visual. AI agents sitting at workstations inside a digital office building, each one working their lane, all of them connected through a shared issues queue at the center. That queue is how work moves through the organization, assigned, tracked, completed, logged. No agent is doing what another agent is already doing. No work is falling through the cracks. That's what coordination looks like. The single most important technical concept in all of Paperclip is this: the heartbeat system, and it solves what I call AI amnesia. Here's how it works. Step 1, the agent wakes up on a set schedule. Step 2, it ingests the core company goal. Step 3, it reviews its pending task queue. Step 4, it executes the specific work assigned to it. Step 5, it saves all context to permanent files. Step 6, it returns to idle. And then the cycle begins again on the next heartbeat. Between heartbeats, the agent is completely idle. 0 tokens burned while it sleeps. 0 context lost when it wakes up. This is how you go from an AI that forgets everything every session to an AI that picks up exactly where it left off every single time. That's not a chatbot. That's an employee with a memory. Here's where your role in this system gets defined. You are the board of directors. You approve hires, set budgets, and define the mission. That's it. Below you sits the CEO agent. The CEO plans, delegates, and submits hire requests up to you for approval. Below the CEO, the CTO agent and the CMO agent. Each one runs their own department. Below them, the founding engineer, the research agent, the writer agent, the social agent, each one executing isolated, hyper-focused tasks for cleaner, higher quality output. This is the structure that makes the whole thing work. When each agent is only responsible for one thing, errors don't cascade. The research agent doesn't mess up the writing because it never touches the writing. The writer doesn't compromise the editing because those are two separate agents with two separate queues. Specialization is the secret. Let me make this concrete with a real example. The autonomous SEO operation. It starts with the research agent. Every Monday morning it wakes up, finds low competition keywords using the keyword golden ratio, and builds briefs. Those briefs go to the writer agent. The writer agent drafts fully optimized articles built strictly around search intent and structure. That draft goes to the editor agent. The editor reviews for accuracy, readability, and brand consistency. Clean output goes to the publishing agent. The publishing agent handles the upload, internal linking, and hits publish. And the final output comes to you. You review. You approve. That's your entire involvement. And here's the kicker. The same logic applies to YouTube. Research, script, deliver via HeyGen avatar. The pipeline is the same. The output compounds. The channel grows. This is the insight that separates people who play with AI from people who build with it. The ultimate use case isn't tasks, it's systems. Here's the trap. Writing one article a week and guessing at keywords. That's not a strategy, that's a hobby. Here's the shift. Pointing a multi-agent system at SEO creates a compounding machine. Look at this chart. Human effort drops to near zero over time. AI content output curves up exponentially. That gap between the two lines is leverage. You aren't writing one article a week. You are running a content machine around the clock. Your output to effort ratio drops to near zero. That is the force multiplier. That is what this platform was built to deliver. Once your agents are running, three features keep the whole system from spiraling. The first is skills. Skills are pre-built instruction sets you pull from skills.hh and assign to agents. Web browsing, API hooks, CMS access, copy, paste, assign. Your agent now has a new capability it didn't have before. The second is routines. Routines are automated schedules. Set the research agent to trigger every Monday at 8 a.m. Set the editor to run a summary every Friday at 5 p.m. Every routine creates a logged issue so you can always trace what happened and when. The third is budget controls. Hard limits on monthly API token spend. Warning at 80%. Auto pause at 100%. Zero surprise bills. Zero runaway loops burning through your credits while you're asleep. These three pillars are what transform a cool demo into a real business system. Now I'm going to give you the honest picture. Because this tool is still early. It launched in March 2026. The UI has rough edges. Coordination can break in ways you don't expect. And here's the hard truth. Complexity adds risk. A well-configured single agent running a focused task will beat a poorly configured multi-agent setup every single time, because every layer of coordination is another place where things can go wrong. And this is the core truth I need you to hear. Paperclip doesn't fix bad thinking. It amplifies it. Vague briefs produce vague articles across more agents, but flip that around. Precise instructions, a clear mission, and a well-structured org chart, that gets amplified too. It's a management layer, not a magic button. You still have to think, you just don't have to execute. So here's where I land. Stop looking for prompt tricks. Start building systems that actually move the needle. Keyword automation, SEO frameworks, YouTube growth engines. 38,000 people shifted their paradigm in 4 weeks. The question is whether you're going to be number 38,001. Inside AI Force Multipliers, we don't just show you what these tools are. We show you how to build the machines, the full stack, from keyword research to content pipelines to avatar-delivered YouTube at scale. Not theory, execution. That's the difference between watching AI change the world and being one of the people building with it. The link to join AI Force Multipliers is in the description. If this video gave you value, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. I want to know, what would you build your paperclip company to do first? Tell me below. See you in the next one. Before you click away, if this video gave you one useful thing, imagine what you'd get with direct access. AI Force Multipliers is where we go deeper on everything you just watched. I bring a published neuroscience research background and enterprise SEO experience, including work with clients whose customer base covers 80 of the Fortune 100 and a former Google engineer, into practical, implementable AI automation systems you can run in your own business. We cover thousands of N8N automation templates, Claude prompt systems, GEO and AI search optimization, the Power Page process, the full stack. Members are saving 10 to 20 hours a week and showing up in AI search where their competitors are invisible. Link is in the description. The first step is free. Come see what's inside. Everyone is setting up Paperclip to do the obvious stuff. Write emails, research topics, summarize things, and sure, that works. But the people treating Paperclip like a chatbot are completely missing the point. What you're looking at right now is the AI factory blueprint. 7 unexpected Paperclip pipelines that don't just save you time, they automate business growth. Look at this diagram. Data flowing in, algorithms processing, automation hubs routing work, pipelines delivering output. This isn't a single AI doing a single task. This is an entire factory floor with departments, workflows, and a delivery interface at the end. That's the shift we're making in this video. And every single one of these 7 pipelines is something we teach step by step inside AI Force Multipliers on SKOOL. Let's get into it. Here's the core problem I need you to see before we go any further. You are treating an engine like a chatbot. On the left, the obvious uses: writing emails, researching topics, summarizing things. That's a chat window. That's a single exchange. You ask, it answers, you close the tab. On the right, the force multiplier. Multi-agent pipelines that don't just save time, but compound into real business growth. Look at what's happening on that right side: data ingest and processing, multi-agent orchestration, content and asset generation, strategic analysis and synthesis, autonomous execution, all of it flowing toward one destination: compounding business growth. The question isn't whether Paperclip is capable of this. The question is whether you're going to be the person who builds it. The real power of Paperclip lies in the unexpected, the workflows that run your business in the background. Look at this table. On the left, the amateur, chatbot use, one-off manual prompts, single, isolated tasks, incremental time saving, random guesswork. On the right, the force multiplier, system use, scheduled autonomous triggers, interconnected multi-agent pipelines, compounding business growth, proven business strategy. Here's the line I want you to memorize from this slide. When you shift from talking to Paperclip to letting Paperclip run your systems, you unlock exponential scale and value. Stop operating as an employee. Start operating as an architect. That is the AI operator shift. Now let me show you exactly how this factory is organized. At the top, the Paperclip AI chassis. That's the engine that connects everything. 3 departments flow down from it. On the left, content engines, volume, and consistency. The SEO machine, the YouTube engine, and the personal brand machine all live here. In the center, acquisition systems, conversion, freelance outreach, and the funnel builder. On the right, operations and intel, scaling, competitor intelligence, and student success. This is the full picture. Paperclip isn't a single employee. It is the infrastructure for an entire company. And now we're going to look at the schematics for each department one by one. The first department is the SEO autopilot machine, and I want you to lock in this truth before we go any further. SEO is not a content problem. It is a volume and consistency problem. Most creators know what to write. They just can't produce enough of it fast enough to compound. Here's how this pipeline runs. Step 1, the research agent. It runs the keyword golden ratio process every single week, finding low competition targets automatically. Step 2, the writer agent. It turns each target into a fully optimized, structured article built around search intent. Step 3, the editor agent. It reviews everything before a single word goes live, and what comes out the other end is compounding organic traffic. Not one article, not a batch. A machine that keeps cycling, research, write, edit, publish, on its own schedule every week, whether you're watching or not. This is exactly what we teach inside AI Force Multipliers on SKOOL under the Content Flywheel system. The second pipeline is the always-on YouTube growth engine, and what makes this one special is right here at the top of this slide, 2 timelines running in parallel, 0 additional effort from you. Here's what that means visually. On the top track, this week's video. The editor agent is cleaning it up right now. Your HeyGen avatar delivers it while you do the thinking. On the bottom track, next week's video. The research agent is already monitoring trending niche data. It hands off to the writer agent, who formats the brief into a branded script. Both timelines are running at the same time. This week's video ships. Next week's video is already in production, and you never had to context switch between them. This is the pipeline we teach inside AI Force Multipliers, the full YouTube system including the HeyGen avatar integration, so your channel grows while you focus on strategy. The third pipeline is the personal brand content machine, and this one is specifically about making you show up everywhere consistently at a volume no human can match manually. Here's the pipeline on the left. Step 1, the daily research agent. It monitors niche news, debates, and data every single day. Step 2, the writer agent. It creates platform-specific content for LinkedIn, X, and YouTube, all from that same research brief. Step 3, the editor agent. It enforces your voice, your frameworks, and your worldview. Nothing goes out that doesn't sound like you. Step 4, human review and post. You verify and distribute. That's your entire involvement. Now look at the graph on the right. Content output climbs. Human effort stays flat. The gap between those two lines is the force multiplier. That gap is the output to effort ratio that we talk about inside AI force multipliers, and this pipeline is what creates it. The fourth pipeline is the agency outreach team, and the line I want you to hold on to from this slide is this: stop trying to do the work and find the work at the same time. That is the trap every freelancer and consultant falls into. You're delivering for one client while you're supposed to be pitching the next one. Nothing gets full attention. Here's how this pipeline breaks that cycle. The research agent identifies ideal prospects at the top of the funnel. Then the writer agent runs those prospects through the craft framework: context, role, audience, format, tone. Each layer of the framework shapes the pitch so that what comes out the other end reads like it came from a human who did their homework, not generic AI slop. The email agent delivers it. The follow-up agent tracks replies and cues second touch sequences. The whole outreach operation runs without you managing every step. The fifth pipeline is the lead magnet and funnel builder. The tagline on this slide is exactly right. Do it once, correctly in a fraction of the time. Most people build funnels badly because they're rushing. They guess at the copy, they skip the research, and then they wonder why it doesn't convert. Here's how this pipeline does it properly. It starts with audience intelligence. The research agent studies your audience's pain points through web research and your own uploaded materials. That intelligence feeds the drafting scope, the writer agent, who simultaneously produces opt-in copy, the welcome sequence, nurture emails, and the sales page. All four, in parallel, not in sequence. Then the editor agent reviews the complete package for conversion logic and brand voice consistency before anything goes live. And what you end up with isn't just a funnel. It's a conversion machine built on real audience intelligence, not guesswork. The sixth pipeline is competitor intelligence, and I want to draw a sharp line right from the start. Checking a competitor's website is browsing. A scheduled system is intelligence. Stop reacting to the market. Watch it in real time. Here's how the pipeline works. A research agent runs on a strict weekly schedule. It monitors 5 signals for your top competitors simultaneously: new content they're publishing, keywords they're targeting, pricing changes, product launches, reviews. All 5 feed into the research agent at the center. The output goes 2 places. First, your weekly brief inbox. Every Monday, you open a competitive intelligence report without lifting a finger. Second, ranking turbo. The agent identifies what competitors are ranking for and directly feeds that data into a gap targeting strategy. You're not reacting to what they did. You're already moving into the gaps they left open. That is the unfair advantage this pipeline gives you. The seventh pipeline is the one I'm most excited about, and it applies directly to every creator, coach, and community builder in this audience. The subtitle on this slide tells you everything: how a one-person creator runs a community that feels like it has a full team behind it. Here's the setup. 3 agents running below the human layer. The research agent monitors confusion points and repeated questions inside the community every week. It flags what people are struggling with before you even have to look. The writer agent takes those insights and drafts lesson summaries, resource roundups, and engagement posts, all the content the community needs to feel alive and supported. The scheduler agent lines up the full weekly content calendar so the feed never goes quiet. All of that intelligence flows up through one channel, to the creator, to you. And because the agents are handling the operational layer, you are freed up for high-value teaching, strategy, and the breakthroughs that nobody else can deliver. This is how AI Force Multipliers on SKOOL runs. One person. A community that feels like a full team is behind it. Now, I want to be clear about something before we close. Paperclip doesn't figure these things out for you. These are the strategies you must bring to Paperclip. Look at this diagram. There are three layers. At the bottom, Paperclip AI, raw computational power and agent infrastructure. In the middle, the strategic engine, the craft framework, SEO flywheels, funnel logic, the keyword golden ratio. At the top, the outcomes, compounding traffic, channel growth, high converting outreach, scalable community. The outcomes only happen because the strategy layer exists. Without the middle layer, Paperclip is just noise. It will run, but it will run in circles. The strategy is what you bring. Paperclip is what scales it. And that strategic layer, every framework in that middle section, is exactly what we teach inside AI Force multipliers on SKOOL. Here's where I land. There are three things I need you to take away from this video. 1. Every pipeline you just saw is a proven, teachable, and deployable business strategy. This isn't theory. These are systems you can build right now. 2. The question isn't whether Paperclip is powerful enough to help you grow. The question is whether you're going to give it something powerful enough to work with. 3. We give you the exact playbooks, frameworks, and systems so you aren't guessing. You are deploying strategy. That's the difference between using AI and building with it. Inside AI Force multipliers on SKOOL, we go through every one of these pipelines, from the keyword research process to the full content system to the HeyGen avatar workflow, so that when you sit down to build, you already know exactly what you're building. The link is in the description. If this video gave you value, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, which of these 7 pipelines would you build first? I read every single one. See you in the next video.